Afternoon and welcome to Fitzgerald Park in Kilmallock for the 2022 Lions of Limerick Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship final between Bruff and Monaleen. My own name is Tom Clancy and joining me for this clash is Matt O'Callaghan. Before I come to Matt to discuss what is an intriguing contest, we'll take a look at the starting 15s for this game. We'll start with Monaleen, a side who topped the group after 7 games and then of course won through to today's decider. They line up with Jamie Power in goal as number 1. The full back line sees Leo Morrison, youngster Brian Kenny and the number 4 Jamie Porter. Larkin Lyons is captaining the side from number 6 and he's joined by younger brother Ronan. Darren Golden O'Mahony completes the half back line. 2 under-19s are partners at midfield, that's Joseph Fitzgerald and Lachlan McHale. Sharpshooter Marco Dwyer is at centre forward and he's flanked by Dan Power and John McNicholas. Limerick under-20 star Donica O'Dollig is at top of the right, while Ed Doyle is at the edge of the square with Luke Murphy, a man who has played both football and hurling for a long period for Monaleen. He completes the 15. Their manager is Tipperary native Owen Brislan, and among the subs is 1997 Intermediate Club Championship winner Damien Cosgrove. Look now at the Bruff side, who Bruff will play this contest in the dark navy shirts. Both sides, as you'll gather, have changed strip, and Bruff side are returning to this final after losing it in 2018. Their goalkeeper is Eric Finn. The full backline sees Graham Whelan joined by James O'Riordan and an under-19 player in Dara O'Brien. Much like Monaleen, Bruff have brothers in the half back line, and that is under-19 captain Patrick Finn alongside Sean Finn, who captains this side. Kevin Bonner wears number 7 and is at wing back. Experienced Paul Brown is at midfield with youngster Sean Murnan. The half forward line sees Dara Butler, Chris Brown and Colin Madden, and the inside line sees Kyle Dillon and Danny O'Leary, and it was Dillon who got a crucial goal in that semi-final win over Newcastle West. Another man who got a goal is Paul O'Riordan, and he plays at the edge of the square. Bruff, of course, managed by Grange native Ray Horrigan, and they have Jerry O'Connor, All-Ireland winner with Cork, of course, many moons ago now, in their backroom team. So I'll come to you, Matt. The weather unfortunately has taken a turn for the worst here, but we have 2 exciting teams, and as this final has thrown up in time after time since its inception in 2014, we're going to get another intriguing game here, I'm sure. Yeah, it appears that only yesterday that I was here for the inaugural final in 2014, when Bruff defeated Croom in what was a cracking final, and for a long time in that final, if I recall, that Croom looked the more likely winners, but Bruff produced a good second half, a goal at either side of half time. The goal before half time by Sean Finn, who is out there, and 4 All-Ireland medals and 4 All-Stars since. So there are some survivals, but it's an intriguing contest, and of course it's an intriguing contest. Of course, Monaleen finished on top of the pile after the group phase, and of course, you must remember, Tom, that it's a grueling group phase in that it's 8 teams, full round robin, 7 games to get to a semi-final, 8 games. So in effect, the teams here are playing their 9th game today, and absolutely, it's just fantastic. From a competition point of view, that they would get so many games, but that these 2 teams are here on merit, and if we want pointers to the type of game that we might get, Tom, we need only look at when they met in the group stage. Now, it won't have a total bearing, but it will have some bearing. But in that game, Monaleen just got a 24 points to 217. So that augurs well for a very, very close, cracking contest today. And looking through the teams, and you spoke briefly there about the under-19s. I was at the under-19 final in Carrick and Lish. I was alongside you, yeah. A thrilling game, Matt.
You were with me, and a thrilling game. And what is really, really encouraging.
We'll just pause now for a moment's silence, I believe. Oh no, it's the national anthem.
But furthermore, Tom, both sides, are prepared to put their faith on those young players who served up a great contest in that evening. For instance, if you look at the Bruff side, you have Darragh O'Brien, Patrick Finn, who you rightly said captained the team, Sean Monaleen, Dara Butler. They were all involved. There's a couple of more who were involved in the subs. Switch over quickly to Monaleen. You see Brian Kenny was involved that evening. So Ronan Lyons was involved. And the two midfield pairs, as you said, two very exciting young players for Monaleen, Joseph Fitzgerald and Lachlan McHale. So full credit to both sides. They're prepared to put their faith on these young players. And it augurs very, very well, Tom, for both sides going forward, that they're prepared to give these young players a chance. And irrespective of how the game goes today, Tom, those young players will have benefited considerably from this experience.
Yeah, there's the thoughts of Matt O'Callaghan. We're almost set to go. The referee is John O'Halloran. He's in the centre of your picture there in the yellow, and he's joined by clubmates from Brewery and Dave Deedy and Mike Sexton. And Patsy Coffey from Cappamore is the fourth official. And I mention, of course, to the umpires John Hurley, Ronan O'Halloran, Danny Deedy and David O'Brien. The game underway here in Kilmallock, and straight onto it in the white, of course, is Monaleen. Ball it was going to be delivered there, but it's a poor delivery, and a bit of a 50-50 for that one there as John Nicholas gets on it. And chance now for Luke Murphy. Murphy looked at the post and has to turn back around. Murphy off the right, that's going to go close, and it is the game's first wide, and that has come.
Speak of Luke Murphy there, Tom, of course Luke is one of the very, very good dual players that Monaleen had an excellent game last week. He was full back for Monaleen. Certainly wasn't Luke's fault that Monaleen didn't get over the line against Newcastle West. Yeah,
they mentioned that, and Bruff playing no football at all this year, but concentration on hurling seems to have paid some bit of dividends as Monaleen look to get their next attack underway. Ball sent from this 65 across to this other 65. Bit of a tussle there, and the strength of the forward that is Donncha O'Dalig. In fact, it's Luke Murphy again, and he wins the free and an opportunity for the game's opening score.
And I'm sure it'll be Marco Dwyer.
Another man involved in that football semi-final last week. Disappointment for Monaleen on that occasion, but quickly dusting themselves off and returning to business, I suppose, if you like, on a hurling front. So a chance for O'Dwyer.
Yeah, he's quite a prolific marksman in both codes, Tom, and quite a very, very good footballer as well. So this will be a testing free now. It's not a gimme by any manner or means, but it will be certainly a chance to get the feel of it. I think it has tailed. It has tailed to the left of the post and wide. We're just trying to pick up what the flags are saying. I think they're telling us that the breeze is blowing sort of across the field, I think.
Yeah, and would have gathered that and maybe taken it to the outside of the left post. Yeah. But nevertheless, still looking for that first score as the ball comes down here, and it's Kevin Bonner who looks, and a greasy ball here in Bruff, or in Kilmallock. We had a deluge of rain in the last maybe 45 minutes or so, which has affected the surface, which was already soft underfoot, but a chance nevertheless for Bruff can clear the lines. Paul Brown in the mix there. Darragh O'Brien, one of those young talents we mentioned, he's bottled up. John O'Halloran says play on, and O'Brien in amongst it again, as is Sean Finn, but it comes towards Ed Doyle, and Doyle wins the line ball.
Yeah, a bit scrappy there, Tom, and I suppose there's evidence already, even though we're only about 2 minutes into the game.
But there's a chance here. Ball sent inside. This is O'Dalig, Donncha O'Dalig. That's a great save. It's going to break, is it? It's falling to the back of the net. Marco Dwyer finishes it. A quick thinking by Ed Doyle flicked it into O'Dalig. A great save from Eric Finn, but in followed Marco Dwyer for the game's first score inside 3 minutes.
Tom, it was an excellent save by Eric Finn, but there was nothing he could possibly do with the follow-up. But very, very good play as well by Donncha O'Dalig. Of course, Donncha O'Dalig, who played corner forward for Limerick in the All-Ireland Under-20 final this year, and a very, very useful forward.
Yeah, and that's the game's opening score. What a start for the City side. Monaleen off the mark. Sean Finn is going to be underneath this, and again, Monaleen kind of first to that, and that's John Nicholas in this case. And again, it's just a scrappy ball as the conditions are very, very soft here. The ball sent away by Sean Monaleen. Monaleen looking for one of his forwards to get in amongst it. The ball stopping dead in the Kilmallock turf there as a hurley goes flying. Referee John O'Halloran is laying down the law here that he's going to let a lot of things go here. The physicality is going to be allowed, and again, it's just going to be a ruck ball there. As you'll see on the far side, a good gathering from both sides. We've over 600 tickets sold about an hour before the game. Chance for Bruff to open their account as Danny O'Leary sends it in, and Danny O'Leary, that's the reply that Bruff would have wanted inside the 4th minute, and it's Danny O'Leary who opens their tally. A man that has pulled up some good tallies already this year.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. He's been very, very prolific throughout the campaign, and that was an excellent point. But just taking up a point that you made there a second ago, Tom, about John O'Halloran. John O'Halloran is buying into the conditions, and he's making an allowance for it, and that's going to contribute to to the fluency of the game. And thankfully the weather conditions for now, the prevailing conditions, have improved somewhat in that 'tis dry.
Yeah, the ball taken, free taken by Sean Finn, taken short to Chris Brown. Brown at the second attempt, hooked the first time, and Chris Brown, well, we had quick thinking for the Monaleen going with quick thinking from 4-time All-Star Sean Finn, and he finds his centre half forward Chris Brown, and Brown with the reply, and just back to a single point.
Yeah, and then looking at the Bruff management down here in front of us, and that's a fantastic catch by Sean Finn.
Yeah, well, we're going to be speaking a lot about him today. The ball switched inside here, a bit of a 50-50. The racing onto it now is that man again, Danny O'Leary. O'Leary skips the cover, ball in hand, bearing down a goal. Danny O'Leary, oh, well, that's a good flick away, although I think there was a foul there first, just as he was trying to get away from the first challenge. And John O'Halloran says that Bruff are going to have a free in.
Yeah, and I was just saying here that the Bruff management team are down here under us. Tom, they will be absolutely delighted with the response of their team to conceding the goal. Daniel, it's not Danny O'Leary actually, it's Dara Butler. This is one of the under-19 players, a very, very prolific man from dead ball situation. Need I say it's a leveller.
It is, yeah, a very good reply. About 3 minutes ago, they found themselves a goal to no score down, and they've cancelled that out. So Monaleen will have to regroup and have to set themselves again. The puck out is long. Sean Finn is going to be underneath it for Bruff, but who's joining him? Finn doesn't quite get it into hand, and Paul Brown is there with him. Brown, he's going to be played advantage here. Paul Brown, the elder statesman in the midfield quartet, if you like, across the two sides. Very, very experienced players. Brown using it all there to win a free.
Actually, his career at intermediate level goes back to 2008 when he played in an intermediate final in Paddy Carroll Park, Ballygran, when they beat Caherline. So there's very, very little.
Well, Sean Finn, I'm sure he did mean it, but just nonchalantly enough sends that free directly over the crossbar from just inside his own 65, and Bruff into the lead for the first side. But Paul Brown, a long servant with this Bruff side. Ball again in around the Bruff half forward line. Ball coming back as far as Darren Golden O'Mahony. O'Mahony looked to switch it, but finds a navy shirt as Bruff looked to carry it out. Sean Finn, with that composure that we're so used to, sends it inside to the full forward line. The referee says play on, as a defender comes out with it. It is Ronan Lyons, and he gives it to goalkeeper Jamie Power, and Power puts plenty of meat behind that, but sends it nearly into one of the local establishments. Yeah,
I think actually, and it was brought to my attention by John here, that there's a marked similarity between the markings of the goalkeeper and the Bruff team. I'm a bit surprised maybe that John hasn't gone for a more distinctive marking or a more distinctive jersey.
Yeah, both wearing navy, but hopefully there'll be no issues. The Bruff goalkeeper, as you will have seen already, in Eric Finn, wearing red, so the only man in red for two clubs, synonymous with that colour, but hopefully there'll be no such issues with that, as Paul Brown sends it in, but into a glove of Monaleen man, sent inside to O'Dollig, and he gets it at the second attempt, does lose his footing, and O'Dollig sends the pass off. Breaking through the challenge is Joseph Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, that's just going to tail, is it? It is indeed. It's a third wide for Monaleen, and Monaleen relegated from senior last season, doing the important bit in terms of securing their status in this grade, and now looking to go all the way and secure their senior hurling grade for next year. We've seen, just to pick up that point, Matt, we've seen what's happened to the likes of Marubo. It's a slippery slope sometimes when you find yourself on the back foot.
Oh, sure, look, it's a lottery. It's 50-50. It can go either way, Tom. The slide can continue, but both of these sides, have suffered relegation recently from this competition or from senior.
Well, Daniel O'Leary inside there, but no, it's going to be cleared, yeah.
Bruff suffered it in 2017 and Monaleen suffered it last year, but Bruff have been flirting around with a very, very quick return. They contested 2 semi-finals unsuccessfully and contested a final in 2018 unsuccessfully, so you know they've been there or thereabouts.
Yeah, chance now for Chris Brown, and Brown makes no mistake. Well, he needed 2 bites of the cherry earlier on, but he delivers with consummate ease there just inside the 9th minute. And Chris Brown, well, 5 unanswered now for the men from the Morning Star, at the banks of the Morning Star River, just not too far from here. Ball sent down directly. They're probably looking to keep the puck out away from Sean Finn, but a crowded half forward line there sees Bruff coming up with the free. So Sean Finn is going to dry the sliotar and have another delivery here.
Good cameo play there by Sean Monaleen, and rightly won himself a free. So yeah, look, Bruff seem to be settling into that. Rhythm.
Yeah, as Finn, well, that's a lovely, excellent strike straight over the green spot here, and 6 unanswered, including 2 long-range frees from Sean Finn. I think Dermot Burns might have company come the new season with Limerick, unless they've been messing around on the Limerick training ground earlier this year. But that's just
company or competition.
Well, yes, that depends where you look at it. Of course, Dermot Burns scooping that Hurler of the Year award last night, I should say, after a fantastic year, which included numerous frees just like that one we saw from Sean Finn. And Bruff, well, they've really, really bounced back well from that early concession of the goal from Mark O'Dwyer, and they've really come into this one and looking to build on it again. Ball put up there, but ball thrown out over the line. That was going to be a dangerous ball in around the goalkeeper, and it's in fact going to be a line ball to the white of Monaleen. So Monaleen, you could do with a score here, Matt.
The heavy rain, Tom, seems to be replaced with a couple of claps of thunder. Well, I should say we're welcoming here today to the ground almost 50 Ukrainian refugees who are presently domiciled in the convent in Bruff, and I'm sure they're enjoying what they're seeing in the first 10 or 12 minutes of this game anyway. Yeah,
their loyalties, I'm sure, with their now I suppose temporary home, if you want to call it that, in Bruff, and ball sent in now by the wing back Kevin Bonner, and that's just gonna go. Oh no, it's kept in play. Chance here now. It's Paul O'Riordan. Well, he was under plenty of pressure, and the ball stays in play. There's a real goal chance for Bruff as Jamie Power gathers and looks to send the ball up to the forwards. He does. That great ball sent inside, and a chance for, yes, that's a great reply. I think that was the centre half forward again. Was it Mark Dwyer? I'm not 100% sure.
It is Mark O'Dwyer.
It is Mark O'Dwyer, sorry. I shouldn't have doubted myself, and that's a much needed white flag now for Monaleen. Of course, their first 12 minutes gone in the contest, their first score in 9 minutes, and a good reply.
I actually think what happened there was that in the conditions the ball stuck, and we have a shot from Paul Brown now, which is
dangerous ball
looking
inside,
dangerous
2-on-2
here.
inside there. Bit of a scrum developing, and again the man coming out with it is Jamie Power. And Bruff threatening to maybe open up the full back line and create a goal chance of their own. As
on those 2 occasions, Bruff certainly haven't got the rub of the green inside in front of the square, but you know, if they keep pounding away, keep knocking at the door, you know, it will eventually open. But in the first instance, I'd say that Paul O'Riordan wasn't able to just get the ball as quickly as he would have liked, because he is pretty lethal in those situations.
He can be a potent inside forward.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, he's a goal merchant.
Yeah, well, just not working out for Bruff in terms of that, but they've got a considerable lead at this early point of a considerable of 2 points, but they've made a very, very good start despite the concession of Mark O'Dwyer's goal. And Monaleen looking to go quick with the line ball. They go backwards, and it's going to be worked outside here to one of the midfielders in Lachlan McHale, and picked up now by Sean Murnane. Picks his pocket. Murnane sends it across to Madden. That's Colin Madden, and back inside. Good pressure by Monaleen, not letting the ball come out easy, as there's just an arm held there on Patrick Finn, and a free now for Bruff.
Yeah, you just see, like Tom, the way the young players have settled into the final. Like, that was good. The 2 of the under-19s combining there. You had Sean Monaleen, again, excellent work. Patrick Finn providing the support, winning the foul. You know, and it's the same for Monaleen, because you've got Joseph Fitzgerald and Lachlan McHale really in the thick of things.
Yeah, Sean Finn is just wayward this, and Dermot Burns can rest easy now, perhaps after that one. But that's the.
Yeah, I think he knew by his demeanour from the time it left his stick that it hadn't reached his intended target.
Yeah, back underway here, and a chance now for Monaleen to cut that advantage even further. Lovely hand pass over the head of Sean Finn, and that's Mark O'Dwyer. Sends it back outside to the half forward, Dan Power, and Dan Power cuts the gap to a single point.
Yeah, Tom, and that has been an excellently executed score. You must allow for the conditions, and like the handling in that situation was excellent, and the way they set up Dan Powell for a clear shot, very, very good play by Monaleen.
Yeah, and that's the second player for Monaleen to get on target, and set up by Mark O'Dwyer. So he's a hand in all three scores so far, has O'Dwyer. And Bruff again, this tight early stages, but seesawing just a little bit, and we're at the quarter mark more or less now, as ball is going to be gathered by Darragh Butler. Butler rises it and strikes, probably a little bit rushed, and that's a second wide for the Bruff men, and the ball taken quickly by Jamie Power out to the wing back Darren Golden O'Mahony, and O'Mahony sends it in to this nearest corner. Looking for a better vantage point here in Kilmallock. Again, referee allowing it to continue, and now he's going to throw it in. So every score hard fought, 1 point game. And so referee John O'Halloran throws it in, and won again well by Sean Murnan, but ball given away. Chance now, Mark O'Dwyer sends it off, chance of a goal, it's whizzed wide. Donegal O'Donnell, well, he's had 2 sniffs at a goal, one saved by Eric Finn, which resulted in the opening goal, and this one just narrowly wide. And again, Tom, the build-up play from Monaleen has been patient, and it's played with great precision and efficiency, and Mark O'Dwyer, I suppose, unselfish there in passing that as well. He could have looked for his own score.
Absolutely he could, but he obviously saw Donegal O'Donnell in a better position, and he was almost proved right.
Yeah, chance now for Bruff through the diminutive forward in Kyle Dillon, but he's just dispossessed. He looks to gather again, and the ball has been knocked out off, I would imagine, a Monaleen boot, and linesman Mike Sexton indicating it's going to Bruff. Will Paul Brown have a look at this? He won't. He's not trotting up a man who's well capable of putting them over, but maybe we have another man who's capable of scoring such line balls, and that's going to be taken now by Danny O'Leary. O'Leary cuts it. The roars on the far side will tell you it's a lovely, lovely bit of skill.
Absolutely sublime. You take all the factors into account. It was from a narrow angle, a heavy ball, absolutely sublime from Danny O'Leary.
Yeah, ball sent inside here. There's a chance for the corner forward O'Donnell again, but he's well marshalled by Graham Whelan on this occasion, but he gets it at the second attempt, spills it, Whelan back with him, and he forces O'Donnell to knock it out over the sideline, and Bruff starting to win those 50-50s that they maybe weren't in the first few minutes, and that Danny O'Leary point from the sideline just stops the little bit of a rot that had started to set in, and Sean Finn will cut this back into play.
First 20 minutes, we're almost 20 minutes, 17 or 18 minutes now, that Sean Finn is really, really leading from the front and making a huge impact, and apart from the 2 points that he scored, is making a huge impact in the game.
Most certainly is, but that line ball doesn't find one of his teammates as Mark O'Dwyer skips by Paul Brown. Mark O'Dwyer, just like that, a flick of the wrist, and Mark O'Dwyer brings himself onto 1-2 and Monaleen onto 1-3.
Yeah, that's an excellent score, Tom. Absolutely excellent score. A fine individual score. A bit of really, really concise skill on his part. Excellent score. Well done, Mark O'Dwyer.
Yeah, back again. It's going to be this one is going to go right to the wire. You have that early feeling here, as that 18-minute point brings it back, and John O'Halloran is going to let this develop as best he can. The ruck ball is crucial today, as Kyle Dillon is fouled as he gives it to Paul Brown. Paul Brown's shot, in any case, didn't reach the target, and a chance for Bruff.
Kyle Dillon, of course, was a Munster under-25 hurling medal winner with Limerick. You remember that year, Tom, yes. About 5 years ago. Munster, it was between the transition from under-20 to under 21 and soccer. They ran a Munster under 25 competition and Limerick won it.
Limerick still unbeaten in that, of course, Matt.
Still unbeaten, yeah, absolutely, and still the holders. But Kyle Dillon, I think, was Limerick's leading scorer in that campaign.
Yeah, he certainly knows where the target is, and on that occasion he's doing enough to win a free, and the free going to be taken by Dara Butler. I must give a shout out to Sean Finn's brother, and that is Brian. He's tuning in from Perth, I'm told, Matt.
Yes.
He's down there with some more South Limerick men.
Yeah.
And
send our regards to Brian. Hope he's enjoying the game so far.
Yeah, I believe he was playing a bit of music on his guitar in a bar there before this one, and he's going to sit down just in time for throw-in, and maybe he'll be enjoying what he sees so far, but he won't have enjoyed that one, a third wide for Bruff.
No, certainly he won't, because he would have been banking on that.
Yeah. As it is, Bruff in the lead, holding on to that lead. Chance now again, it opens up ever so slightly. Marco Dwyer pops it off to Lachlan McHale. McHale just sends it to the left and wide, a fifth now for them. But
I think Lachlan will probably be disappointed with that. Again, it was good build-up play. They opened up the Bruff defence, and Lachlan McHale got what was basically a free shot at goal, but wasn't able to get it on target. Yeah. Now we have Ed Doyle in possession.
Yeah. Ed Doyle was one of the mentors with that 19s team. Ed Doyle just sees a tail across the face of goal, and a lot of those wides for them have just gone across. And
of course, Ed, Tom, was a Munster minor medal winner with Limerick in 2013, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a similar vintage to maybe the likes of Cian Lynch and Aaron Gallan. So
Richie English. And
he was in the steam company, most certainly. Back underway, long puck out from Eric Finn. Ball breaks though to Danny O'Leary. O'Leary ends up on the deck, and Monaleen scramble it away. A chance now for Sean Murnan. Murnan puts it under Hurley. Two Monaleen men chasing him, and they do enough to stop him getting a shot off. Kyle Dillon gets a Hurley to it, and that puts it in the pad of Colin Madden. Jinx one by Jinx the other. Colin Madden makes no mistake. Colin Madden
would be one of the more experienced members of the Bruff team, and would have been here 9 years ago when Bruff he would have been through the whole odyssey of Bruff and the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship. You could say almost their love affair with it.
Yeah. Very well put, Matt. Yeah, Gary Spillane getting the better of them in 2018, and they've been knocking on the door on occasions since. So back into the decider, it was here, of course, against this very venue against Gary Spillane. The bouncers went to back up senior and never remained there, so it just shows you the strength of the sides coming out of Premier Intermediate. But who will replace Blackrock? Well, we're only marginally closer to knowing it, but we won't be able to answer that for another hour or so, or another 45 minutes, you'd imagine. Ball now with Marco Dwyer. Dwyer is everywhere from Monaleen. He looked to pull on that one, he doesn't, and the chance now, it's just a scrappy ball. It's just body sliding everywhere. As chance now for Bruff. Well, a late foul on Paul O'Riordan.
Paul O'Riordan, of course, is a former Limerick minor and a brother of James, and of course they're both sons of Anthony O'Riordan, who captained Limerick in the Centenary All-Ireland minor final the last time that Limerick won the All-Ireland minor championship. Anthony was one of 4 players on that Bruff team, and Anthony, of course, is dad to both James and Paul.
Yeah, coming from very good stock, and he wins the free in this occasion, which will be taken now by Butler, and Dara Butler sends it to the...
He will not be one bit happy with that shot, but I think you referenced it earlier on, Tom, about the breeze, and it looks as if it possibly took it. It was very close now.
Just carrying the ball across the goals. It's happened on 4 or 5 occasions, maybe more so on down to our right, but in either case that's a wide and a fourth one for Bruff. Ball sent inside. Who's going to be on the break? That's good movement by Marco Dwyer, and O'Dwyer just sending that to the right, and perhaps overcompensated for the breeze.
I think Monaleen will be slightly worried come half time, because the Whites tally is mounting up. They're on 7 now by my count, which is quite a lot in on 24 minutes of hurling.
Yeah, not even 24, just beyond the 23-minute mark here, as you can see on their screens there. And Ed Doyle looks to get on it. Can he be a bit more accurate this occasion? That's gonna go. The biggest roar of the day so far, you feel. They're right behind it on the far side, and Ed Doyle makes amends for why they had a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah,
A
and
goal and 4 now.
Ed is having a very, very, very good campaign for Monaleen, and I suppose is one of the reasons that they're back here within the threshold of making an immediate return to senior hurling. That was an excellent point. It was a classic Ed Doyle point.
It was, yeah, and a chance for Bruff to reply, but it's going to go inside to Reardon. Reardon, the man up in his back. Reardon put onto the hurley. Great hook by Brian Canny, and Canny fighting tooth and nail to get it back. He does. The fullback's going to come out with it, and there's a foul there and a big momentum swing, you feel. Brian Canny, well, it's rare, Matt, we see in the number 3 jersey effectively a teenager. I think I'm assuming he was under 19, so he must be still only 19 or 18 even. It's a testament to what he's capable of if he's trusted in a county final to wear that number 3 shirt, and he showed it there. Yeah,
he showed it there, and the maturity he showed it there. Like he timed the block to absolute perfection, and once he got in, once the ball broke, he was in control of the situation.
He was, and he got in control of it and was fouled and cleared now by Jamie Power. That's the ball sent down. Paul Brown in that familiar yellow helmet sends it towards Sean Finn. Is he going to be pressurised? Men slipping and sliding. Finn diagonal there, but unfortunately his teammate didn't read it. But given the conditions, it's going to be slow there as they come away with it now. Monaleen through cornerback Jamie Porter. That's going to go right tight to the touchline, and it was actually carried out over the line by the Bruff man. And
that clearance was
Patrick
affected
Finn.
by Ronan Lyons, who by trade is a defender, but was a very, very effective attacker, as we saw in the under-19 final, when he played at centre forward.
Did most of the scoring on that night in defeat, as his side now look to come. If Sean Finn's going to be under the breaking ball, broken well by the yellow helmet for Monaleen, as O'Donnell takes a number of steps, is allowed to continue, and Sean Murnane gets in there. Sean Finn gets in there, skips through the challenge of O'Donnell, and Finn picks out a pass. We've seen it so often. Chance now sent to the right and wide by Chris Brown, and earlier in the contest those ones are flying over, but just the radar gone off of it.
He picked out the pass, but I honestly think Chris Brown didn't realise the amount of space and time he had, and he rushed his shot.
Yeah, his chance now as Fitzgerald sends it back to Doyle. Doyle, the dander is up, and it's going to... Oh, well, I thought that was tailing inside. In fact, it tails outside, and Doyle now 1 from 3, if you like, just narrowly wide on both occasions with his misses, and the gap remains a point. As Eric Finn goes long, very, very long inside the Monaleen 45. Lovely touch and picked up by Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald sends it in towards Doyle. Try again, will Doyle. Gathers it off the right. He's well hooked there by the cornerback, and ball finds its way to Finn. Finn thought about the hand pass, still looking for options, and there is the hand pass from Finn. Lovely ball in to Butler. The shouts of a boy Butler as Dara Butler makes amends for a couple of misses, receives the Sean Finn hand pass and just sends it straight over the bar. That's a lovely score.
Yeah, and again, you know, as we've seen with a number of points and a number of opportunities that Bruff have created, Sean Finn has been very central to them all.
He most certainly has, and the gap back out to 2. Can someone maybe assert themselves before half time? Can Monaleen get back on level terms or even ahead inside to Daly? Is he 1-on-1, or O'Donnell, I should say, unable to gather it cleanly? Takes a lot of steps, but gets a pass off, and it's a bit of a hospital one, as Patrick Finn there accidentally or otherwise clashes shoulder, I think, on helmet.
Yeah.
His eyes for the ball only, and a free in coming for Monaleen.
As usual, referee John O'Halloran was right up with the player, and it was very, very close to him, so he saw exactly what happened, and he obviously is satisfied that it is a free to Monaleen.
You mentioned the referee there, Matt. The referees have been in the news for all the wrong reasons, not the referees per se, but those, I suppose, imposing themselves upon the referees wrongly across the country. But we have some great servants around Limerick. John and his team here today, even his young umpires who probably don't get enough credit for the amount of games that they cover in all conditions. And you know, Limerick is no different with the referees and umpires that we have.
Oh, sure. Look, we have a fantastic team of referees and officials at you know.
And one of them, Patsy Coffey, indicates we're going to have 2 more minutes at the end of this half. But yeah, The free taken by O'Dwyer. And so he sends it over the bar. And he's been a busy man, has O'Dwyer. That goal, you recall, early in the contest, looked to set Monaleen their way, but Bruff have come roaring back. They hit 6 unanswered after that. And since then it had been more or less tit for tat. The ball from Eric Finn goes very long indeed, and it's the white of Monaleen who come away with it. And played the hurley there, says John O'Halloran, and it's going to be a free out for Monaleen. 1-5 to 9, 8 points to 9, just a single score in it.
Yeah, well, there's one thing anyway, Tom. We're heading for half time, and we're no nearer to knowing who will replace Blackrock at senior level next year.
Absolutely, yeah. Every possession, it feels like, is crucial. As the ball sent long by Power, going to go all the way in towards Doyle. There's a hand up in there, but they're slipping and sliding around there. There's Finn, does this wise thing, gets it away from his goal. Sean Finn is one of the men on the deck, and he gets up, but ball is with Dara Butler. Butler, though, outnumbered and outfoxed on this occasion, sends it. Chance now for Monaleen through John Nicholas. Nicholas with the yellow helmet finds the man in possession. Is this the levelling score? It most certainly is. It's the centre half back, Larkin Lyons.
An excellent score by Larkin Lyons, probably putting it up to Sean Finn. Whatever you can do, I can do also. But of course, Larkin Lyons was an All-Ireland medal winner with Limerick in 2018.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Who could forget the efforts of the panel in the last few years beyond I suppose the 24 to tug out, and Lyons was one of those in 2018 who put in the graft that was needed behind closed doors, the stuff that people don't see, and he gets himself on the score sheet in this final. So we looked to be level at half time, or will someone put their nose marginally ahead? Sean Finn opens the shoulders, there's plenty of air on that, but there's not enough accuracy.
It would have been the score of the game, Tom, the way he robbed the ball, worked it around the Monaleen player, and set himself up for a shot at goal.
Yeah, he sends it wide, a sixth in all for Bruff, and a free out coming here as Jamie Power trots out to take it. So we saw what Finn can do from distance. Can Power return the favour? He'll certainly look to. Well, he doesn't take much time over it. Rises, strikes in towards Ed Doyle, 1-on-1 inside there with the full back, but it's gathered up now by Graham Whelan, and Whelan is half blocked, and a chance for Monaleen. Sean Finn is in there with an arm. This chance now, is this the lead score? It is not. It's going to be across the face of goal and wide.
Good effort by Joseph Fitzgerald, but probably one shot, probably a bad decision to take it on, Tom. There was probably other options on.
Yeah, as the Brown brothers look to link up, and indeed they do, as Paul finds Chris, and Chris has a couple of bites to pick it up, and he does so. Larkin Lyons there with him and gets in the block as Chris Brown, carelessly enough, decides to lash out, if you like, on the centre half back, and he's going to be the first player to receive a yellow card this afternoon. Just a little bit of frustration that he was unable to elude Larkin Lyons, and rightly, I think, earns himself a yellow card.
And there's no getting away from these things with John O'Halloran. He was right up with the play again.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 match officials from Brewery this afternoon, as that's the last action, and a sloppy yellow card to pick up. But well, as Matt said a few moments ago, we're no closer to knowing who is going to be in senior next season, because at half time it is 1-6 to 9. And Matt, if you could just sum it up for me briefly, what have you just seen there? It's been an interesting view.
It's been a very interesting game, and the omens were very good coming into it, and you'd be just slightly worried about the conditions, particularly the conditions that were prevailing when just immediately before the game commenced and just after it commenced. But thankfully, they have improved considerably, and I think both sides have served us up a decent 32 minutes of hurling. We are no nearer to knowing who will win it. There is absolutely nothing in it. This is a game, Tom, that's going to be won on very, very fine margins. You would have thought that when Monaleen got the early goal, that it would have given them the impetus But you know, the response of Bruff was just simply phenomenal, and it yielded 6 points, 6 points without reply, you know, to turn a 3-point deficit into a 3-point lead. But Monaleen have come into it. You know, I mentioned it in commentary, Tom. You would have to be admire the quality of some of the Monaleen scores. The build-up play was very, 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 very good. Bruff don't seem to be able to work that, you know, work it just as well. But there's a long way to go, and I certainly wouldn't put my neck in the block and say who's going to be senior come 45 minutes time.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a little bit of a break here and grab ourselves a cup of tea. I suggest you could do the same. We'll be back in a few moments for the second half. Don't go too far. It's 1-6 to 9. The line ball.
Yeah, a bit scrappy there, Tom, and I suppose there's evidence already, even though we're only about 2 minutes into the game.
What is your chance here? Ball sent inside. This is O'Dalig. Donegal O'Dalig. That's a great save. It's going to break, is it? It's falling to the back of the net. Marco Dwyer. About an hour before the game. Chance for Bruff to open their account as Danny O'Leary sends it in. And Danny O'Leary.
Right.
Yeah, the ball taken, free taken by Sean Finn, taken short to Chris Brown. Brown at the second attempt hooked the first time, and Chris Brown.
Actually, it's Dara Butler. This is one of the under-19 players, a very, very prolific man from dead ball situation. So there's very, very little.
Well, Sean Finn, I'm sure he did mean it, but just
2018 unsuccessfully. So, you know, they've been there or thereabouts.
Yeah, chance now for Chris Brown, and Brown makes no mistake.
Rhythm.
Yeah, as Finn, well, that's a lovely, excellent strike straight over the green spot here. The forwards, he does that. Great ball sent inside, and a chance for, yes, that's a great reply. I think that was the advantage even further. Lovely hand pass over the head of Sean Finn, and that's Marco Dwyer. Sends it back outside to the half forward, Dan Power. And Dan Power, that ball given away. Chance now, Marco Dwyer sends it off. Chance of a goal. It's whizzed wide. Donegal O'Dalig, well, line balls, and that's going to be taken now by Danny O'Leary. O'Leary cuts it. The roars on the far side will tell you. It certainly is, but that line ball doesn't find one of his teammates as Marco Dwyer skips by Paul Brown. Marco Dwyer, just like that, a flick of the wrist. And Mark Hurley to it, and that puts it in the pad of Colin Madden. Jinx one by Jinx the other. Colin Madden makes no mistake. Looks to get on it. Can he be a bit more accurate this occasion? That's going to go. The biggest roar of the day so far, you feel. And there is the hand pass from Finn. Lovely ball in to Butler. The shouts of a boy Butler as Dara Butler. One of them, Patsy Coffey, indicates we're going to have 2 more minutes at the end of this half. But yeah, the free taken by O'Dwyer. John Nicholas with the yellow helmet finds the man in possession. Is this the levelling score? It most certainly is. It's the centre half back. Welcome back to Fitzgerald Park in Kilmallock, where we are deadlocked in the Lions of Limerick Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship final. It is Bruff and Monaleen, of course. Bruff in the Navy, and they're back out and ready to rock and roll for the second half. Nothing to separate them after 30 minutes of hurling. What will separate them after 60, and who will return to senior hurling? That's the question that we are waiting an answer for. A reminder in the first half, the goal from Marco Dwyer, he added 2 points to play and a free, so a goal and 3 for him. Ed Doyle, Dan Power and Larkin Lyons also on target with a point apiece for Monaleen. Danny O'Leary with a point and a 6 sideline. Chris Brown with 2 from play. Dara Butler with a free and a point. Sean Flynn with 2 long range frees, and Colin Madden with the other score for Bruff. So Matt, I want you to put your head in the block. Who's going to emerge here in around about 32 minutes time?
I nearly fell out with Jack Neville over that, putting my head in the block, and you're picking it up now. I honestly don't know. It's that tight. Look, the first half, the scoreboard at half time reflects the first half.
Yeah, deadlocked, and both sides will feel they have chances to be ahead. Can Bruff get themselves ahead? Patrick Finn, and Finn puts plenty of power behind it, but not enough accuracy, and a first wide for Bruff. They're 7th, first wide the second half, they're 7th in total.
Yeah, Patrick will be disappointed with that, Tom, but it was great work on his part to get himself into the scoring position. And again, I would say, as we've said a couple of times, it may be the win that took it at the last minute. Yeah,
Sean Finn doesn't even look at the post, he looks for his forwards, ball sent inside, and he's frustrated with his teammates who haven't made the ball stick. Ball sent inside. This is going to be a foot race for Donegal. O'Dalig is there, and he is met by the challenge of Graham Whelan. O'Dalig though wins it as the Bruff man slips O'Dalig after Hurley. That's going to go over. Donegal O'Dalig puts his side back in front.
Yeah, and it's been a score that has been coming for Donegal O'Dalig, because he has been very, very busy, and we saw how unlucky he was when he was set up in the first half by Marco Dwyer with the ball that just whizzed past the post. There was only literally inches in it, but at least he's on the scoreboard now.
Yeah, and the City Divisional Club are back in front. The first score of the second half so for Monaleen, and Bruff looking to reply in kind. Kyle Dillon amongst the bodies searching for that one. Chris Brown is one of them. Brown, but looks for Colin Madden, not on the same wavelength, and Monaleen have the bodies back. Monaleen making good use of the possession. Of course, their manager is the former Toomey Vara and Tipperary player, Owen Brislan. As the ball sent over the bar by Marco Dwyer, playing a little bit deeper, it looks like, since the break, or certainly for that possession.
And Tom, he's after getting you. I think there's no argument. That's, apart from Danny O'Leary's line ball, that's the score of the game. A fantastic score by Marco Dwyer.
Yeah, and a goal and 4 now for the sharpshooter, and 2 points to the good. They've started both halves brightly. Can they continue it though in this second half? Paul Brown has a little bit of room. Puts on the racing boots, and it's sent inside. Chance just sent in, just goes over the bar from Kevin Bonner. He was half thinking, I'm sure, about a goal, and Jamie Power relieved to see it go over his crossbar.
Absolutely, because it was struck with power, and he was on the run. Of course, Kevin Bonner is a former Limerick minor as well.
Yeah, both sides with plenty of men through the green of Limerick in various different avenues, as John Nicholas is upended just on the 20, and John O'Halloran looked to have played advantage, none forthcoming, and Nicholas ends up in the deck, but he is rewarded with a free. So a very healthy crowd here in Bruff. We saw the young stars of the future for both sides in action at half time, and Bruff, they were early out from that dressing room. They'll be wondering what they've done wrong early in the second half. They're more than likely going to be 3 points down. Sorry, I should say 2 points down again. Matt's never my strong point, but as Marco Dwyer.
Yeah, it was just a routine free from Marco Dwyer from that distance and from that angle, and he safely potted it over the bar. Yeah. Monaleen certainly have grasped the initiative early on, but again they did in the first half as well, Tom, so it'll be interesting to see what the response from Bruff is. Yeah,
Patrick Finn skips by a couple of challenges, did well, but just messes up the hand pass ever so slightly and allows Monaleen to come in and sweep it away. There's going to be a 50-50 ball here, you'd imagine. Sean Murnane near that touchline. Murnane does well to get a hand pass away to Brown, back to full back. O'Riordan sends it inside. The ball just not flowing as they'd like early in the second half, and that is almost intercepted, but a chance now for Kevin Bonner. And Matt's going to bring us a little bit of an update on the intermediate football in a second as Colin Madden sends it in. That's going to go all the way inside. Kyle Dillon pulling wildly, but the cornerback Jamie Porter comes up with it, and his delivery goes out over the sideline. Yeah, so another busy weekend of Gaelic games. Bradford and the PIHC, Matt, in the intermediate football.
Yeah, we're a quarter of an hour into the game there. The latest score there is PIHC 3 points, Bradford 2. And like this game, the expectation there is that patrons in Askeaton this afternoon are in for a very, very close game.
Yeah, so it is proving so far, and much like this one, two sides looking to return to the senior ranks. The PIHC relegated last season, and Bradford in a couple of years before that. So two sides trying to get back to the top table, but two sides looking to do so are Bruff and Monaleen. There's a great block in there, Marco Dwyer. He is so busy, he can't even see his number, such as the mud on the back of it. Sent inside to O'Dollig. This is what a forward like him will want, a one-on-one. Squares up his man, jinks on to the right, and Donegal O'Dollig. Well, you were talking about scores of the day. That's certainly in the top 5 or 6, Matt. That's lovely, well-worked score. They isolated O'Dollig inside, and he jinks one way, jinks the other, and fires it over.
An excellent point. Very, very well finished. Made the space for himself, as you rightly said, Tom. And there was only going to be one result. I think Bruff are about to introduce Josh Keating, who's warming up here down in front of us. He would be another one of the under-19s, but would have a bit of experience at playing at this level, maybe for 2 years. Patrick Finn is in a good position now.
Oh yes, Patrick Finn shakes off his man, and Patrick Finn makes no mistake on this occasion. And the Finn brothers are on the score sheet here in Kilmallock. A good reply to that O'Dollig point from another former Limerick minor in Patrick Finn.
Oh, the ball has broken in here.
It has broken inside, but Paul Brown, the legs most certainly aren't gone, because he raced back and got that one. Sends it to Sean Finn. Sean Finn has all the time and the patience to get out of those challenges, and finds the wing back Kevin Bonner. Bonner looks inside to see what's available to him, but that ball is intercepted there, and Paul O'Riordan, just a little bit carelessly to say the least, fouls Golden O'Mahony.
For a matter of seconds in that last cameo there, Bruff looked as if they were in trouble at the Monaleen. It was John Nicholas appeared to have got behind the defence, but Paul Brown found a spurt of energy from somewhere. He might be around this game a decade and a half, but he found it and did enough to flick the ball away. Great defending by Paul Brown, but it was a dangerous situation for Bruff.
And they're giving away a free, so Monaleen will look to launch an attack. So we're going to have the first substitution of the afternoon, and it's coming in the 37th minute, and it's going to be Josh Keating wearing number 20 for Bruff, and he replaces Kyle Dillon. Dillon not having it all his own way, it's fair to say, this afternoon, as we're back underway. Long ball going all the way in towards that square. There's a bit of a wrestling match inside there, and the ball is kicked wide in the end, I think, by I'm not sure, was it O'Dollig that was in there in the end.
Donegal O'Dollig was certainly in the thick of it there, and
certainly a half goal chance. As we know, and that goal mouth in Kilmallock, Matt, is a little bit worse for wear given the volume of games it suffered. So it's it's a dangerous game to let the ball drop inside there. Back underway around the middle. And Patrick Finn is in there. Paul Brown is in there. Darren Golden O'Mahony is in there. And out comes Luke Murphy. Murphy decides he's going to go backwards to full back Brian Kenny. Kenny snaps it, delivers it inside. The goalkeeper is floating out of his area as Bruff with a little bit of a 3-on-2 come away with it, as James O'Riordan. Is that going to go into the hand of Danny O'Leary? It is O'Leary. O'Leary is felled by Brian Kenny.
Yeah, I don't think there was any doubt about that. But of course, Danny O'Leary in possession spells danger for Monaleen, and he's going to dust himself down and possibly take the free himself, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Or will he summon Dara Butler? No, he has taken possession of the ball and he's going to have a pot at it.
Yeah.
And of course, as we know, he's quite accurate with dead ball situation, and but it's quite a distance. And of course, he will have to allow for the breeze, which will be sort of blowing. He did it exactly.
Exactly. He aimed for that right post, and the wind carried it straight through the middle. And a good reply from Bruff, and Danny O'Leary adds to his tally with a lovely taken free.
Yeah, and it has closed the gap again to the minimum. And, you know, I think this is going to be the feature of the game. There could be a bit of danger here, and Sean Finn is in control of the situation. Great play by Sean Flynn.
Finds Ball Brown. Ball Brown sends it inside to Josh Keating, his first notable involvement, and he gives away a free. But Matt, we're in, as they say in American sports, championship minutes, championship quarter, in terms of the third quarter in these games. This is where games can be won and lost.
Defining period, moments. I suppose you'd call it, Tom. And you know, we're 40 minutes into the game. We're 10 minutes into the second half. Tom, can I remind you, we're no nearer to knowing who will be playing senior next year.
Yeah, absolutely. 13 points to 12, 110 to 12 as your scoreboard shows. So Monaleen with their nose, and that's all it is at this stage. Yes, very well done by James O'Riordan. He won the arm wrestle in the air, he won the ball, and he subsequently won the free. Great full back play. At this level, you know, and I've said it before, James O'Riordan is one of the most underrated players. He's been a fantastic player, fantastic servant. Played minor, of course, for Limerick, played underage for Limerick. Has been a fantastic servant and Mr. Consistency when it comes to defending. Yeah, Eric Finn will be disappointed with that free because he sent it over the far sideline. Monaleen have a couple of subs just keeping themselves warm. Amongst their subs, of course, Andrew Latouche Cosgrove, probably the standout name in terms of possibilities. One of the 2018 All-Ireland hurling winning members, as Jamie Porter just about gets his pass away, and he finds Lachlan McHale. McHale delivers to Ed Doyle, and Doyle is going to win the race ahead of O'Riordan. And Doyle, 1 point to his name so far, doesn't look to add to it at this occasion. Sends it to John Nicholas. Nicholas slips here in South Limerick, and the ruck develops. Who's going to come out with it? It is a man in a Bruff jersey. Oh, that hand pass is loose. Ed Doyle gets onto it. Chance. It's into the back of the net. It's John Nicholas in the yellow helmet. Well, we spoke about how important rucks are. The ball spurts its way out. Nicholas, sharpest of the lot, and flicks it to the back of the net. Absolutely, and Eric Finn had no chance. But this is the sort of situation, you know. But you'd have to say that Tom, that Bruff were a bit tardy in dealing with it, and they have really paid the price now. So Monaleen have their tails up, and it's very, very important that Bruff really get back into the game as quickly as possible. Yeah, 4 point margin. I think that's the biggest margin, certainly for Monaleen. It's the biggest margin in the match overall, as Bruff look to, I guess, steady the ship and get back into this contest in some regard. As Paul Brown takes it down, this is going to go all the way in around the square. Just missed margin. He got some bit of a touch to it, did Dara Butler. But Monaleen, their goal, living a charmed life at times in this contest, and they have the presence of mind to go back to Jamie Power, and Power switches across to Mark O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer sends it diagonally across Ed Doyle. He's finding space in the last few minutes. Can he find the ball in his hand? He can. Gets it off to Hurley. Decides to go back to O'Dalig. O'Dalig has two options behind him. One of those is Lachlan McHale. McHale slips and Sean Finn nips in. Ball just not held. And there is a foul. In around the middle. Bruff need a score, Matt. Yeah, definitely need a score. And in that situation, when Dara Butler was forward, there were 6 Monaleen defenders to 3 Bruff attackers. You know, Bruff need to press forward if they are to get that breakthrough goal that they so desperately need at this stage. And this is a free now, which it's Danny O'Leary is taking it. Very, very important free, Tom. You know, there's 4 points in it. All right, you can point to the fact that there's still a full quarter to go or more, but well, he sends it well to the right hand side and wide. That's a disappointing effort from the young star. Danny never really got hold of that one, Tom. No, he didn't. Matt, I'll remind you, a goal and 4 to 3 points since the interval. So Monaleen very much in the ascendancy, and Bruff need those sort of scores to go over. Ed Doyle, he is really showing for possession now, but good pressure on that shot on this occasion. And Eric Finn will gather. Finn opens up the shoulders and right off his right hand side sends it long, and Larkin Lyons is able to break it to himself. Good play from Lyons, and it's flicked away by Josh Keating, and a line ball for Tom. You know, the intensity of the game has dropped considerably.
And if you're 4 points up at this stage, that probably suits Monaleen more than it suits Bruff. You know, Bruff have to reinvigorate themselves and rejuvenate themselves, you know, to get back into this game. And they're about to bring in Jason Hayes now, who a very, very experienced player. He would have been here 9 years ago when they won the inaugural county championship, and great servant to Bruff. They're just opting to bring in a bit of experience at this stage.
Yeah, Sean Finn dispossessed there, and he runs the ball out over the line effectively. Yeah, Bruff need answers. Monaleen very happy with the start of the second half, and just like the goal they got, the first goal that was, they took a quick line ball, but this occasion it doesn't go to plan, and a free out as Mike Sexton has his line up. There's going to be a sub. It's number 12 making way for Bruff, so we'll just see now who and what what impact I should say that Jason Hayes can have. So he comes in place of number 12. That's Colin Madden. Madden got a point in the first half.
And there's exactly a quarter of an hour to go at this stage, Tom.
Bang on it.
So, you know, Bruff really, really have to chase the game now and make every effort count.
Yeah, Sean Finn is going to take this free. He's deep in his own half, so he's not going to try and find the post, but he's going to try and find Paul Brown. He does. Brown's touch, not his best work, but he's going to be underneath the next break of it, and Brown sends it inside straight into the action. Is Hayes. That's Jason Hayes. Hayes, can he be the man to lift Bruff out of this bit of a slump? Hayes into the hand off the left. It's going to go to the left hand side and wide. And the third wide is second half. 9 wides to 10 now. Monaleen hitting one more.
You know, Bruff after time. They're after 2 criminal wides, one from a free and now that one by Jason Hayes. You know, they just have to get it together. Yeah,
and getting it together through the centre forward Chris Brown. That's going to go to the left as well. It's staying in. The goalkeeper's on the deck, and it's going to be a 65.
I suppose it was lucky there because the goalkeeper was out, and had the ball fell favourably for Bruff, which it hasn't done yet today, and I think Monaleen are making a sub now as well.
Yeah, of course, the sides and opposite sides here. Off
we
goes,
can tell Darren, off goes Luke Murphy.
Number 15, Luke Murphy, is making way, and in comes number 19, and that is Andrew Latouche Cosgrove. I mentioned him a few minutes ago, so a big player to be bringing in at any stage of a game, really, especially in the last few minutes of a county final. So Monaleen make their first sub. A chance now for...
Actually, it's a luxury to be bringing in a player of that quality.
And there's another wide there.
And while all that is happening,
Danny O'Leary has sent this one wayward. We're now 10 wides apiece, and most notably 2 in a row from place balls for the Stars, as they look to try and get themselves back into it. Monaleen haven't built on that goal, but they haven't had to thus far, as Sean Finn gets it, sends the pass in towards Paul Brown. He's just going to skid away from Brown. It's Josh Keating is in amongst it. Paul Brown is going to gather it. Roll lifts it. Probably a day for a bit of skill like that. Paul Brown off the left. It's going to be very, very short, and it's going to be into hands of Jamie Power, and he can do what he likes with the slitter as he sends it out to the halfway part of the pitch. And the ball inside now. Mark O'Dwyer. Dwyer gets away from Sean Finn. O'Dwyer, that's going to go close off the post into the square, and Eric Finn, with no pressure on him, can clear his lines. But that's how close they were to extending that lead, and you just feel that there isn't too many scores left in this contest. Bruff have not been able to keep possession. Their use of the ball seems second best compared to Monaleen's, as Patrick Finn just misses it, and the freedom of Fitzgerald Park for number 10 Dan Power, and Power's second of the afternoon. And now they've added to that goal as we near the final 10 minutes. We're just 12 minutes to go now in this one, and as Power adds his second,
Tom,
the advantage is now
Bruff
considerable.
just have to press. Jamie Power was in the acres of space when he caught a loose ball. There wasn't a Bruff player.
Lovely flick by Paul Brown. Chance in there that this has to go over the bar, you feel, as Sean Murnane. That's a great bit of improvisation from Paul Brown, and a lovely score from Sean Murnane. In fairness to the young men, they're stepping up today, and Murnane is one of those. He's had a fine outing despite his side trailing this one. Back underway. There's 2 Bruff men there now. A bit of impetus you'd feel in their play, is there? Ball, here's Paul Brown. He's standing up now in the last few minutes. He's been busy. Brown from the centre of the park, but that's going to go to the right, but not wide. It's going to go into that glove, or the hand I should say, of Jamie Power, and Power clears his lines Patrick Finn underneath it. Sean Finn, the older of the two, is going to gather it, and he's well pressed by O'Dwyer. It's a good tussle for possession there as Hayes sends it into the corner. Good pressure there from Bruff, and Bruff get the line ball. Mike Sexton agrees. Bruff now need Matt to add to that point. It's no good getting one. You need to get 2, 3 on the and get the crowd behind them, get the momentum into the body.
Yeah, and sow the seeds of doubt into Monaleen, because Monaleen at the moment are really, really cruising, because Bruff are really, really not putting up that much of a threat.
Indeed they're not, but that ball is here now with Josh Keating jinking, sending it towards Monaleen, and there's just a tussle there. Monaleen with the extra bodies back, but Keating comes away with it. Josh Keating is ripped to the floor. He was thinking, I'm sure, about a goal. Good determination from Keating. He was certainly outnumbered, but he wasn't outfought.
Yeah, absolutely. Uppermost in his mind was goal, I would say there. But he was upended, and I suppose from a Monaleen point of view, he was tactically well upended, well outside the square. So there was no doubts at all, or no calls whatsoever for a penalty. But Danny O'Leary will really have to nail this one. And when I say nail it, put it over the bar. Bring the margin back down to 3 points, and let's hope from a rough perspective that it will provide the spark. That they're going to close the game, and we'll have a very entertaining last 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're at 9.5 minutes of normal time to go, so 51 minutes basically on the clock, as you can see there, and a reply brings it back to a 1-score game. Patrick Finn underneath the puck up, but just evades him. Is there going to be a quick reply from Monaleen? There isn't, because that's going to tail. If they're second wide of this second half, they're a bit more efficient in the second half, but the crowd finding their voice on the far side.
I'm sure the Monaleen management team will have emphasised emphatically about the conversion rate at half time.
Yeah, they're finding themselves that goal, second half goal, is really the difference. There's a good hook there on Kevin Bonner, and the ball sent in. There's a clear push in the back there, as clear a push as all it is, you'll see, Matt.
Yeah, on Paul Reardon. So this is an opportunity to close the gap again. They're just clawing their way back. Maybe the pendulum is swinging a bit with Bruff, because at 5 points Monaleen looked to be comfortable. If you could be comfortable with 5 points in a hurling game, now there's a Bruff player down.
Sean Monaleen, I think he looks to be injured, and I'm hearing he's going to be replaced by 24. That's John Bulfin.
It's John Bulfin for
number 9. Sorry, Sean Monaleen. So Monaleen looks to have picked up a bit of an injury. It's number 7, but number 9 is making his way off for Bruff. So Sean Monaleen is off, and in goes John Bulfin. And the man prone on the deck is Kevin Bonner.
And I think has there a sub coming from Monaleen as well?
In fact, that sub was the sub. I have the wrong way around. It was a Monaleen sub. I beg your pardon. It was David Maloney in for number 9, and the number 9 for is Lachlan McHale. So that was a Monaleen sub. Apologies. So John Monaleen retains his place on the pitch, and Bruff have brought in number 17. So we'll just see. I think that's 17
Conor
for 7.
McInerney would be a full-back by trade.
Yeah, and I think 7 has gone off injured. That's Kevin Bonner, so he shipped a heavy blow in that challenge there, as the free goes to the right hand side and wide for Bruff. Very disappointing, it must be said. They could have cut it back to 2. And it's game on again here as Monaleen look to re-extend that advantage. Number 8, it is Joseph Fitzgerald. Well, there's a dispute over this one, and the point has been given. Joseph Fitzgerald, despite the protests of Eric Finn.
Yeah, the umpires looked to reflect on it for a minute or two, but obviously Eric Finn wasn't happy with the decision. Here's Chris Brown on a position of some danger.
Gets the ball from Patrick Finn. Brown, his advantage being played. Brown drinking one way, and he's blocked, but he gets his free. And with 6 minutes of normal time to go, you'd wonder what Bruff are going to do. They're going to probably just tap it over the bar. 18-14, bring it back to one score game. But they're sniffing the whole game. They've only had sniffs at goals. They haven't had a clear opening just yet.
No, maybe one or two in the first half when Paul O'Riordan, I suppose, was unlucky that the ball just didn't come up to him as he would have liked. But Danny O'Leary makes no mistake from this one, so it's a one-goal game again.
Back to a goal. 15th white flag for Bruff. They wonder did they need a green one to go with that to bring themselves back into this final. So very, very crucial moments in their seasons. A long season it has been in a lot of ways. The biggest amount of games in any championship in Limerick needed to win. 7 group games, that semi-final. Bruff had to go to extra time on that occasion. And of course now the final. So Monaleen trying to come up with another score to edge them 4 clear again. But ball sent out here. Chance now for Darren Golden O'Mahony to clear his lines. He's put under pressure by Dara Butler. And a chance now for Larkin Lyons. Lyons back to Darren Golden O'Mahony. Paul Brown is in there. Possession absolutely crucial. Chance now, Josh Keating. Keating spills it once, spills it twice, keeps it in play, and ends up out over the line.
Out over the line. Yeah, it would appear, as I said, Tom Conor McInerney is a full-back by trade. He seems to have gone in there, and it appears to me that James O'Riordan is gone out wing-back as a direct replacement for Kevin Bonner, because he's definitely in that position over on the far side of the field as we speak.
Yeah, ball sent Benitez here, soft underfoot there as Latouche Cosgrove, or sorry, not Latouche Cosgrove, yeah, it is Latouche Cosgrove is in amongst it. So too is the other sub, Jason Hayes. Hayes is fouled. And you'd wonder now, have Bruff had enough opportunities with their frees? They're going to need to nail one. Sean Finn, the captain, he said, I'm going to take this one. He's not entertaining anyone else. He's taking the responsibility. So we'll just hush as he's beneath us here.
Just immediately in front of us. We could nearly shake hands with him from this point. But Tom, it's great to see Andrew Latouche Cosgrave back. You'd like to see no player. He has really suffered with injury throughout the year, and it's fantastic to see him back playing and doing what he likes best, playing hurling. Yeah,
as ball cleared by Larkin Lyons, and in there straight away is David Maloney, and a chance now. Can this be the sealer? Donegal Dalig. There's the lift. There's the lift that Monaleen needed coming down the stretch.
Very crucial score, Tom.
Very crucial. Bruff looking to get under. Paul Brown is there. There's 2, 3, 4 Monaleen men, but Brown comes out with it, sends it back to Murnan. Murnan, it's going to tail, is it? It's going to be to the left hand side and wide. And the wide's really mounting now. A dozen or so for Bruff.
Yeah, they have overtaken Monaleen now on the wides count, and it was certainly Monaleen who were far more wayward in the first half. Ball breaks here now to Sean Finn, who's about to effect the clearance.
Sean Finn.
Right down the middle towards Chris. No, it's not, it's Josh Keating.
In fact. He's been busy since he's got involved. He's going to win a free here. This needs to be scored quickly. Paul Brown going to get onto it. And they're looking to hit Chris Brown. Paul Brown. What's he do with this one? Well, he sends it in and sends it over the bar. Another free taker for Bruff.
Yeah, very important score for Bruff. It just keeps him in the hunt as we go down the home straight with just about 2.5 minutes left.
Bang on 2.5 minutes I make it, and we'll be interested to see what Patsy Coffey raises aloft on that electronic board. Benitez. Bruff looking to get the next score. They haven't been able to put many back to back in the second half. Breaks now, chance for Monaleen. It's Latouche Cosgrave. Great save after crossbar and over. That could have been curtains. That could have been the title for Monaleen, but it's a great save from Eric Finn as the rain drives in here in Kilmallock. What a chance.
Yeah, it was, but nevertheless, it's a crucial point. It restores the 4-point cushion. Great effort by Andrew Latouche Cosgrave. Fantastic save by Eric Finn.
Yeah, as Patrick Finn gets underneath this loose ball, this will suit Monaleen down to the ground. Donegal Dalig, he's been very impressive this afternoon. Gets away from Sean Finn. That's going to go to the right. Is it going to stay in? It's not. It's going to go wide. And we can gather our breath for the last few minutes.
Yeah, we're waiting now with bated breath and interest to see what Patsy Coffey is going to put up in the next few minutes, or the next couple of seconds, I'd say, because he has board in hand. It looks as if we're getting the 3 minutes we have been told.
Yeah, Good to see the officials keeping us. We have a rainbow and all here, such as the weather. 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go of the 60 we've played. There's frustration of Bruff clear to see on that far side. Then as Monaleen gets involved, so we're going to have 4 more minutes really. As Dan Power is on the deck.
It's 4 minutes now for Bruff to save their season. 4 minutes for Monaleen to make an immediate return to senior hurling, which I suppose of the two options looks the more likely at this stage, Tom.
It does. A yellow card there for Sean Monaleen. His frustration, and he sends Dan Power to the deck. We're going to get on with it. It's into the corner, but it's gone over the end line and wide. As Eric Finn wastes no time in driving this one long. Bruff needs some dust of magic, or a little bit more, a genie in the bottle perhaps, to try and save their season. Josh Keating, well, he's shown what he's made of since he's been introduced. Ball sent across to O'Leary. Danny O'Leary met by a wall of white jerseys. O'Leary advantage coming, and no opportunity really coming. You feel now that this has to be rifled to the back of the net. If you're looking at a Bruff making a comeback. Yeah,
Tom, you're into that territory time-wise. We're at the end of regulation time, and it's one of those dilemmas for strikers now. What do they do? You must remember there's a former Limerick goalkeeper in there on the line.
There is in Jamie Porter, isn't there? Yeah.
Jamie Porter, a Munster medal winner with Limerick in 2013. There's pedigree there in that line. I don't know if Larkin Lyons has even gone back in there. Yeah. So well,
this free is going to be taken by Danny O'Leary. O'Leary lifts, O'Leary strikes, and it's saved. Bruff still fighting for that possession, but Monaleen, as they've done in much of the second half, have come up with all the answers as David Maloney gets on it. Maloney flicks it away, sends it inside, and Bruff chasing shadows as Mark O'Dwyer, his early goal set them on their way, but on this occasion he sends it to the right hand side and wide.
Latest score coming in from the intermediate final, Tom. It's half time in Askeaton, and it's the PIHC 1-3, Bradford 1-3.
Sixes all round, ball sent inside. So as Brown doesn't gather it at the first attempt, there's Sean Finn in there, flicks it through to Brown. Just looks like the extra bodies are there for Monaleen in every possession of play as O'Leary looks to get on it. O'Leary skips through a couple of challenges. O'Leary sends it inside. Oh, that was destined for Sean Moran until an intervention from a Monaleen man, as the frustration of Danny O'Leary is there for all to see. A very dangerous shoulder, and that suits Monaleen down to the ground.
Yeah, and I don't expect they will be in any great hurry to take this free, because we're already nearly 2 minutes into time added on, Tom.
100 seconds or so in, so we've the other side of that 80 seconds or so I make it left, as Monaleen do get on with it quickly, and they send it across to Mark O'Dwyer. He has had a phenomenal outing. Mark O'Dwyer,
and that is the icing on the cake, Tom.
Mark O'Dwyer just adding to what has been a very impressive outing and a very impressive team display, you'd have to say, from Monaleen.
Yeah, it just means that Bruff need 2 goals now in a minute, and you'd have to say it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and it's given away. Larkin Lyons, he's going to be lifting that cup, you'd feel, in a few minutes. The team captain sends it into O'Dalig. Another impressive showing from O'Dalig. We'll be seeing plenty of him in years to come in the red and white of Monaleen. And O'Dalig, well, it doesn't really matter, you'd feel. He sends it to the right and wide.
Yeah, and I expect to see him in a green jersey at some level.
Absolutely,
as well, because I've noted him through the campaign. He has been very, very, very good. And he's one of the dual players as well, Tom.
That's right, yeah. Was involved last week in that defeat to Newcastle West. But looks like they've gone one better. There is a sub on the Monaleen side as number 10. Dan Power makes way, a couple of points for him, one in either half. And in his place is number 20. That is Ben Hayes. So good to see Ben Hayes getting a couple of seconds at least in the county final. A free in for Bruff. They're going to have to hope that there is enough time for 2 scores, 2 goals, of course. But
Ben Hayes is another addition, Tom, to the under-19 brigade. Very, very exciting young player coming through the ranks in Monaleen.
Yeah, it's going to be dropped in around the house. Looks like we're there with the time. John O'Halloran looks at his right watch, and Mark O'Dwyer playing in a deeper role in the second half. It's bared fruit as Andrew Latouche Cosgrove rises, strikes inside as Ed Doyle can he put even more icing on the cake? He sends it across to Maloney. Maloney flicks it over the outcoming keeper and over the bar. A point. We weren't sure for a second. That is now another score, and good to see the substitution, David Maloney, getting on the score sheet. There it is. There's the full-time whistle. A tremendous second half. They were deadlocked at half-time. A tremendous second half from Monaleen, and they've come up with the goods. They've come up with the answers, and they are now back in senior hurling at the first time of asking the manager of Owen Brislan, his backroom team involving Trevor Galvin, Dermot Gleeson, Eamon O'Connell. They'll all be delighted. Everyone else involved in this team, they've delivered. And Matt, it was a thrilling game. Bruff probably ran out of steam in the last quarter. Monaleen had the answers, and they had the efficiency in the second half that they most certainly didn't have in the first half.
Yeah, there was a contrast. There was a similarity and a contrast between the halves, Tom. In the first half, Monaleen got an early grip, relinquished it. In the second half, they came out and got a grip again, and this time they held on to it and drove on. Really, at one stage I think Bruff brought it down to 2 points, but Monaleen again had the power to drive on. And when you have the like of Andrew Latouche-Cosgrave to come off the bench, he has had only cameo appearances this year, but when you see a player of that calibre coming on and you going on the home straight, it's a boost to the whole team around the place. A man that has done it all. But you would have to say, Tom, that it was a very consummate performance by Monaleen in the second half. They ticked a lot of the boxes, but we were saying at half time that we were very, very impressed with the way that they crafted and engineered scores, and they carried on in the same vein in the second half. Tremendous performance by Marco Dwyer. Absolutely, when Monaleen needed a score, he was the go-to man that got it. Monaleen, they're returning to senior ranks. From what I have seen, and I have seen them in 3 or 4 games now already this year, I think they're much better equipped to go back to senior than when they left it. There has been a considerable transition of players, a turnover of players. The young players, you mentioned Brian Canny yourself, full-back for the future. Joseph Fitzgerald, Lachlan McHale probably didn't put the same impression on the game, but you must remember it was a first.
They're teenagers, Matt.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
These are teenagers. Ronan Lyons, Ben Hayes came on in the closing stages. Like the future is bright, but spare a thought for Bruff. You can't have a great game. You can't have a good final without 2 contestants. And Bruff more than played their part in the game. And I was just wondering with somebody from Bruff before the game, were they to win today? Would they be going back senior a year too soon? They will have learned considerably from this experience. The Patrick Finns, the Sean Monans, the Dara O'Briens, the Dara Butlers, the Josh Keatings of this world. They will pick up considerably from today's game. And you must remember, Bruff have come a long way, because after a great start to the campaign, when they picked up 5 points out of 6,
they rocky patch. They lost two on the shot. They
experienced considerable turbulence when they lost successive games, and they went into the penultimate round with Glenroe. It was win or go home, win or bust. It was as simple as that. But they picked up 2 wins in the last 2 games against Glenroe and Cappamore, and then they were involved in that marathon mammoth semi-final with Newcastle West. So those young players will have learned a lot. Very, very important that the senior players will stay, will be there. We know Sean Finn will be there. Paul Brown, decade and a half at this level. He didn't show today that he was a decade and a half at this level, but in a very, very, very energetic performance. I'd be pretty confident we'd see Paul for another year anyway, and it would be important in the development of these players that a player like Paul Brown would be in there. But overall, congratulations to Monaleen. Fantastic day for the club. An immediate return to senior ranks. And I suppose it was done so when they received a dividend for the great level of underage work that's going on in Monaleen. Absolutely fantastic, phenomenal underage work going on there, and they're competing at the underage levels at the top. If you look right down through the whole Borden and Oak program, and if you look down, under 19. They were there or thereabouts with Bruff. There was only a puck of a ball. It was that late goal that Dermot Denny he got that made all the difference. So, well equipped to go up seeing her. Bruff very well equipped to come back and maybe go one better next year.
Yeah, no, certainly well summed up by Matt. A thrilling contest here. Two sides, as Matt says, that underage know each other very well. Particularly after this year, they'll know each other even better now. Well, there has to be a winner, and it is Monaleen. As you'll see, they're emerging victorious. 2 goals. The 2 goals crucial, really. That early one from Mark O'Dwyer and the one early in the second half. Well, that was ultimately the difference. Bruff, they'll regroup them. Under 19 titles at Premier level don't not come around easy. They won their one this year, and they'll be backboning the side for years to come. So we'll do our best to keep an eye on the cup presentation here in Fitzgerald Park. Thank you for joining us anyway. I'm going to let Matt sign off and go up and meet the representatives of both sides. I've been Tom Clancy, he's been Matt O'Callaghan. Thank you for joining us. We'll keep the stream on so you can see the cup being presented. Monaleen, a proud day for them.
Thanks, Tom.